From weekend getaways to extended road trips, California is full of places to explore. And for over 100 years, the Auto Club has been there to help. Our travel agents offer you expertise regarding destination information, trip planning and reservations, either in office, on the phone, or online. Across the state, throughout the country, or around the world, through all life's travels, we're always with you.
Road Trip has been made possible by the Automobile Club of Southern California.
I love San Diego. It's one of our state's most beautiful and historic cities. There's so much to do there, and it's a place filled with optimism and civic pride. Too bad we couldn't spend any time there, because on this road trip, we were heading south of San Diego, barreling down the 5 freeway in search of the exact southwest corner of our state. And as we started this adventure, little did we know just how much fun we'd end up having and how much we'd learn. Okay, our adventure begins, and it begins on kind of a sour note because I think we've come too far. Look who was here to meet us. Your name is?
I'm Joe. How you doing?
Joe
Meisenhelter
with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
That's correct.
That sign right there says Mexico.
Yes, it does.
So obviously, we're at the corner. We're looking for the southwest corner of California. Where is it from here? We've come as far south as we can come on the 5 freeway.
You're exactly as far south as you can go right now without actually entering Mexico. To go southwest, you'd have to go in this direction here for a couple of miles. We're not actually out where the ocean's at, and the further southwest corner is a little bit away from us.
So we're how far away from the southwest?
You're about 2 to 3 miles away from the actual corner.
Where is west? I'm getting kind of mixed up here.
West is this direction. It seems like we're south, but actually south is behind me now. This would be west, east, and north is directly where I'm pointing now.
All right, now as long as we're here, and you're going to tell us in a minute how we get to where we want to go, because we can't just cut straight across, can we?
No, absolutely not.
You have to go back up the freeway and then cut in.
Certainly do.
All right, but while we're here, this is a very historic spot as well, isn't it? Tell everybody where we are.
Right now, we are on Interstate 5 South, just as you enter Mexico in San Diego, California. It's a portion of San Diego called San Ysidro, and right now we're at the world's busiest land border.
Now, wait a minute. The world's busiest land border crossing.
Absolutely.
What does that mean? How many? Because this doesn't look like it's too heavy right now to me.
Well, this is half of it. This is the half that's leaving the country going into Mexico. In a little bit, we'll take you to where the cars are coming into the United States. But every day, we get between 45,000 and 65,000 cars coming north into the United States. In addition to that, 25,000 to 40,000 pedestrians walking through, and about 300 buses every day.
All right, now I've seen old historic pictures. I think that were taken right about here, weren't they?
Yes, absolutely. There's
back in the 1800s, so this place has been around a long time.
There's a lot of history to this port. Back when California first became a state, this port was begun. Of course, it was a lot different than it is now, and we've had several changes in the architecture and the buildings, but yes, absolutely goes back to the beginnings of California.
Those pictures that I saw, it was just a sleepy little dirt, dusty road with some wagons and some buckboards and a bunch of border guys just kind of standing around, look like they're half asleep. This was a lazy place. Why did they choose this place as early as the 1850s? Why here? Why not 5 miles further east or a few hundred yards further west? Why right here?
I think the geography plays a lot into that. If you look to the east and west of us, you've got the ocean on one side, the mountain on the other. It seemed the natural way to bring the traffic through at that time.
All right, and the name of this place is?
This is San Ysidro, the port of San Ysidro.
The port of San Ysidro, which means port of entry,
exactly.
Portal.
Correct, the port or the doorway to America, or the doorway to Mexico in this case, where we're standing now.
All right, so we don't want to go. I mean, Mexico is a beautiful country, and I love to visit Mexico, but that's not where we're going today. We want to eventually be going back up north and west a little bit of here.
Exactly.
But as long as we're here, you have offered to kind of give us the $5 tour.
Absolutely. We'll show you around today and show you whatever you'd like to see. There's a lot of history and a lot of things of interest here.
Okay, here's the traffic I was expecting, and this is traffic coming from Mexico back into the United States. Now, are we technically in Mexico right now?
No, we are absolutely 100% inside the United States right now.
We just walked across there.
Exactly.
We didn't have to, even if I'm with you, we'd have to do more than that, wouldn't we?
Exactly.
All right, now what happens? This is where the United States Customs, is this Customs working right here?
This is Customs and Border Protection. It's a one-stop shopping. We have all the customs, merchandise, immigration documents, and agriculture needs all in one stop.
And what's the deal here, Joe? What are you looking for? What are the telltale things that you got? Cameras all down here that I guess are what, looking at license tags? Or?
Yeah, we have a lot of different techniques. The best one is the officer taking a look at the people and whether they're nervous and what they have in the vehicle. But for example, the license plate readers, we're checking all the license plates, any law enforcement information. For example, if your car was stolen, license plates in there, we'll know that that's a stolen car and that sort of thing. So we do have some information like that.
And how many people get stopped? 1 out of 100, 1 out of 1,000?
Well, it does vary, of course, but we probably secondary inspection about 2 to 5% of the traffic goes into secondary, but 100% has to stop at the booth and undergo an initial exam before they get to that point.
I always get a little nervous. I don't know why, but when I'm crossing either in or out of a country, I'm always a little nervous that something's going to come up on the computer or something. Maybe a traffic ticket I hadn't paid, or I don't know what.
Well, people don't have much to worry about in that regard. We're basically looking for merchandise that hasn't been declared, items that are smuggled in, violators of that sort, people trying to falsify their documentation. So the average person really has nothing to worry about in that regard.
All right. Well, this is kind of an interesting. Hi, how you doing? How are you doing? Where have you all been? You've been down to Mexico?
Rosarito Beach Hotel.
Now, do you have anything in the car that's you need to? What?
We have 2 bottles of tequila and a 6-pack of Sol, and we're allowed to.
Is it all right if they have 2 bottles of tequila?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody over 21 can bring a liter every 30 days, no problem.
You girls are over 21?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And the seal hasn't been broken on the.
Oh no,
not these, not on these.
And a Spider-Man piñata.
Oh, look at this. A Spider-Man piñata, 2 bottles of tequila, and some happy American tourists coming back into their country. Bye. See, most people are just coming back from a fun trip down to Mexico.
Exactly. That's why the average person has nothing to worry about. We're trying to look for the violators. The thing for us, though, the violators want to kind of blend in, so we do have to check everybody, but, I mean, clearly, not much to be concerned.
Wait a minute, then. They might be...
You know, we'll take a quick look. Do our
almost were too nice.
Well, you know, they probably have nothing, and we'll check that out. But really, in about 30, 40 seconds, we'll do a quick exam and probably release them on their way. That's what's most likely to happen.
Or else confiscate their tequila.
They'll be okay with 2 bottles, no problem.
This is very interesting. What's going on here? Tell us about your dog and what you're doing out here.
Well, this is Skipaway. He's an English Springer Spaniel, and he's been in the field about 2.5 years. And
what's he sniffing for when he's sniffing these cars?
He's searching for drugs. He's trying to find marijuana, hashish, cocaine, methamphetamines, ecstasy, and heroin.
And how good is his nose? How's his nose holding up?
Oh, his nose is great. He loves what he does. He does very well. And to him, it's a big game.
Really?
Yeah.
Looking for drugs?
Looking for drugs.
And what are the odds of somebody coming through here and getting caught by this cute little dog?
Well, the odds are probably pretty good.
I mean, how many do you catch a day yourself?
Well, myself, you know, we might get 1 a week or so. There's usually a dog. We'll get a drug seizure just about every day here. It's just kind of sometimes luck, being at the right place at the right time.
Because you know what? This is kind of deceiving. This kind of looks like just a friendly house pet. I was expecting like a German Shepherd or, well, you know, this is just a cute little dog here.
He is a cute little dog. It just shows you that basically you can train just about any type of dog to do this type of work. They just have to have a good nose, and they just have to have the aptitude for this type of work.
And what kind of dog is it again?
He's an English Springer Spaniel.
Wow, how did you figure out that English Springer Spaniels were good drug dogs?
Well, I got him when I went to the CBP Canine Academy in Front Royal, Virginia. And this was the dog that they gave me to train with. And at the start, I was expecting a shepherd or like a Labrador Retriever.
Yeah.
So when I saw him, I thought, oh my gosh, you know, what am I getting myself in for? But he's worked out great, and he likes what he does. So.
Is he your pet? Do you take him home with you at night?
Well, no, he's in a kennel maintained by Customs and Border Protection. But when he retires, I'll be able to take him home.
So he's going to have a home when he retires.
Oh, he's already got a spot on the couch. So when
his nose gives out.
Yeah, he'll be in the house entertaining my kids. Yeah.
All right, can we get a look? This has been awfully nice meeting you.
Nice
Your name
meeting you.
again?
Kevin George.
And the dog's name?
Skip Away.
Skip Away. And oh, look at this. Look at this dog. This is the friendliest Border Patrol dog I've ever seen.
Yeah, he loves people.
He's great. Can we we're gonna just get a shot of Skip Away doing his work there.
Okay.
What does he do? Show us how this works. He just goes around a car?
He will screen the vehicles. Well, I'll kind of show you what he does.
All right.
Skip.
Oh, he's sniffing. Look, he sniffs the headlights. He sniffs the front bumper. He sniffs under the back wheel. Boy, he gives the car a once over.
Yeah, he essentially will hit all the different seams of the vehicle, because basically the odor from the drugs would come out of these seams. So he's learned that, you know, if he hits the right spots, he might get odor of the drugs.
He points.
Well, essentially, yeah, with his nose.
What will he do? Will he bark? Will he?
When he alerts to drugs, he scratches. So he's trained to scratch on the area where the odor is coming out.
Wow. This is fascinating. Thank you so much, George and Skip Away, right here at the border. Look at that dog. Look at that face. He's doing his job, keeping our border safe from drugs. All right, now you've done it. You've brought us to the official.
Yes.
What's the deal? This plaque was put up when?
Okay, I'm not sure of the certification on this plaque, but this is actually by the International Boundary and Water Commission, so we know for a fact that we are completely in the United States. The half that I'm on is on the United States side. You have the line down the middle. The other half is actually in Mexico. So I know.
Am I in Mexico now?
Well, we need to get you back. But yes, you just stepped into Mexico. But when our officers work out here, we know that we're in the United States, because 1/3 of our activity takes place right out here, but still in the United States.
And isn't this interesting? Right here on top of this sign, here's a fella. Howdy, how you doing?
Fine.
Your name?
Pete.
Pete?
Pete. You?
My name's Huell.
Oh, okay.
Nice to meet
Thank
you. He's selling Spider-Man. Spider-Man's big in Mexico, isn't it?
And here too.
Yeah, because the girls had a Spider-Man piñata.
Exactly.
So there's a little bit of free enterprise going on.
Absolutely.
Right here at the border.
Most definitely. There certainly is.
Now, let's be honest. If this weren't on the air, what's the big deal out of me just stepping right?
Well, it's not a legal entry point into Mexico, and technically it's a violation of going to Mexico not through an entry point that's authorized.
So literally, I could just get right up to here.
Exactly. You're still in the United States.
And I'm still in the United States. If I go right here,
exactly, you're in.
I'm in violation of international treaties.
Yeah, you're not supposed to enter Mexico that way. And I will do this. I mean, I can go all the way up here, and I will tell you, I am absolutely in the United States.
Right here.
I am completely in the United States right now.
But my foot is now in Mexico.
Exactly. Exactly. And our officers don't cross that line.
Wow. It's right down to an inch.
Exactly. It has to be.
Wow, and look, you've got it going all the way across.
Yeah, there is no doubt at all where the boundary ends and begins. We know where it is.
Wow. And look, there he is selling. Howdy. Boy, they're doing a brisk business here, aren't they?
A lot of customers in the area, absolutely.
But they can only sell on the Mexican
Correct,
side.
and they are. And as you see, they'll come right up to the line, and they know where that line is.
Wait a minute, he's in violation.
Well, he's on the sign that marks the boundary, so he's on the line. That is absolutely the United States. He's a little over the line there.
You're a very kind customs agent, letting him sell across the border like you are.
He'll be okay.
Now we're looking into Mexico, right?
Yes, we are.
That's Tijuana right there.
That's correct, just right next to us.
All right, because I don't want to get on the wrong side of that border, but here we are. These are the people walking in. How many people walk in and across the border every day here?
It's about 25,000 to 40,000, depending upon the day of the week. Every day.
They all have cards, worker cards or visitor cards, so they just shoot right through here, right?
Well, not everybody. I mean, U.S. citizens, not necessarily. They can have a passport, some form of ID, and those visiting will have some sort of document.
Okay, so we're talking how many thousand?
25,000 to 40,000. That's on a daily, every day.
Wow. 7 days a week, 365 a year.
We don't close.
All right, and right over here, we've come here because this is a very historic building. This is one of the old buildings at the port.
Yes, it is, and it was the new port back then, but we call this the old port.
Built in?
1933.
This was the original building.
There actually was a building before that, 1910, but they had outgrown it, and so this structure here was rebuilt. And this is the oldest building we have on site at this time.
So this is a historic, wonderful old structure right here at the border.
Yes, actually registered as a historical building.
And there's another reason that you like this particular building. This is a bit of TV, Hollywood, border trivia.
Yes, it is. The Lucy Desi Comedy Hour, episode number 6, was filmed right here, where Lucy has a child helping her load some stuff into the trunk. He hops in and she gets caught right here in front of this building, and you'll see that if you watch that episode.
So they filmed a Lucy show right here in front of this building.
She was right here. It was filmed on site.
Coming back from Mexico into the United States.
Yes.
I remember that particular one.
Yes.
That was shot in the 50s, and back in the 50s, it was a lot looser and easier around here, wasn't it?
Definitely. Things have tightened up a lot since then as far as the security.
Now we've hooked up with a VIP. Your name is?
Bruce Ward.
And your title?
I'm the acting port director for the San Ysidro and Otay Mesa ports of entry.
So you're over this whole thing right here?
Yes, I am.
You know everything there is to know about it?
Well, supposedly.
Did you know the story about the Lucy episode that was
Yeah, I
filmed
sure
here?
did. I sure did.
So that's kind of legend around here.
I've seen it. I've seen it, actually.
And there must be a million stories connected with this place because this is such a human place. There's so much going on here day in and day out.
Well, it is the world's largest port of entry. We do an average of like 53,000 cars a day. About 20 to 30,000 pedestrians. I think last year we did between 50 and 60 million inspections right here at San Ysidro.
And each one of those, like I say, is a human story. I mean, they're people on vacation, people heading to America for a new life, Americans heading to Mexico for a great weekend. I mean, everybody's got a story to tell here.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've been here 20 years, and about the time I think I've seen it all, something else will happen, and I'll just go, oh my God, I've never seen that happen before.
And most of it is probably good, along with the bad that we hear about a lot.
Oh, definitely. We get a lot of people from the Midwest coming down here to see this, back east, and then we do have about 1% of the people we deal with are violators. I think we arrested about 60,000 people here last year.
But isn't that interesting? That means that 99% of the people who come through here are just fine.
Oh, definitely. 99% of the people that cross this border are valid border crossers. They have business on this side, shopping on this side. I mean, it's an amazing story. Mexicans annually spend $4 billion in San Diego County, and Americans spend a like sum in Tijuana.
Wow.
So it's a major thoroughfare.
And it's become a tourist attraction.
Oh yeah, it's this isn't even really busy. You should see it in the summer when it's just packed.
Yeah,
I mean,
but then people get really mad waiting in line, don't they?
Yeah, well, they get mad, but you know, we do our best to try and make sure that the traveling public gets across in an expedited manner, and we try to catch the bad guys. It's like catching a needle in a haystack, but we're pretty good at it.
Well, congratulations on the good job that you're doing. We kind of got here by accident. We're looking for the exact southwest corner of California, and we thought maybe this would be it, but this isn't it.
No, it'd probably be closer to the beach. That way.
A couple of miles that way.
Couple miles that way.
That's what Joe told me.
Exactly, exactly.
So really, we came to the wrong place, but we ended up having a great time. Thank you very much.
Very nice to meet you, sir.
We're leaving the border and heading north. Actually, we only drove a couple of miles before we took an exit and headed for the coast. Our destination was the nice little town of Imperial Beach, the southernmost town on the California coast. Well, we have just pulled in to beautiful downtown Imperial Beach, and we really don't know exactly where we're going to go. We're trying to get our bearings. We spotted Imperial Beach cab sitting over here, and a good way to find out about a town is to talk to the cab driver. Your name, sir, is?
Patrick Walsh. Potato's my nickname.
Oh, Potato!
That's my nickname, yes,
well,
sir.
That's another whole story,
yes,
isn't it?
sir. Yes, sir.
All right, well, we've just pulled into town, and we're curious about, do you live here?
Yes, sir, since 1952.
What kind of a town is Imperial Beach?
Well, it's cleaned up a whole lot. It used to be really reckless 30 years ago. But
what do you mean reckless?
I mean, there's a lot of drinking, a lot of just crazy people around. It's mellowed out a whole lot now. It's cleaned up a lot.
All right, and what is there to see and do down here?
Oh, the beach, the pier. That's it. That's what it's all about here.
So this is definitely a beach community.
Yes, sir, it is.
And what's the appeal of this little beach town?
It's a small town community. There's a lot of single family homes, very nice environment, nice neighborhoods, good people.
Tell him hi. Say hello. Jojo, say hello.
Oh my
Tell
gosh,
him
look
hello.
at those feathers.
He's beautiful.
Ooh, boy, he can look you down too.
Oh, he won't hurt you, no.
Oh.
Say hello. He says, I'm camera shy.
Well, I tell you what, we're starting off with a bang here in Imperial Beach. We're starting our official tour of Imperial Beach, and here is our tour guide. Introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, I'm Jay Robbins.
All right, now, you have been recommended to us because you are a local, and you know your history, and your family has been in Imperial Beach for years.
Since 1946.
So you know what you're talking about.
Well, I hope so.
Well, tell us a little bit about this place, because right off the bat, this is beautiful right here. This landscaping, you got the big lifeguard tower and the palm trees, and then this beautiful gateway to the pier. Tell us what's going on in Imperial Beach.
Well, by benefit of the San Diego Unified Port District, who took over Imperial Beach Tideland several years ago, and with their financial support, they helped us develop this beautiful pier plaza, this beautiful surf hinge acrylic sculpture.
Now, wait a minute. This is really something. These are made to look like surfboards.
Yes, that was the theme. That was the idea. The artist did this in order to try to include it in what he imagined to be part of Imperial Beach's surf culture.
Wow, this is beautiful.
These were all handmade and hand polished.
When you talk about Imperial Beach, you definitely do talk about the surf culture, don't you?
Well, there's no doubt about that. Imperial Beach is probably one of the finest surfing spots in San Diego County. We've got many surf breaks, and you'll find people surfing here all year round.
Wow, this is beautiful, and we're walking right out on the pier. Now, this pier, has it always been here since the early days?
Well, actually, this is the third pier that Imperial Beach has had. It's on the site of the second pier. Our original pier was built about in 1909, about a couple hundred yards south of this particular location. It lasted about 50 years, and then this pier was built, the original portion of this pier was built in 1962 and lasted about 20 years when a big storm washed it out. And then this is the most recent version, 1,500 feet long, has some steel pilings out toward the end, tin fish restaurant, and some pretty good fishing too.
Wow, this is a beautiful pier. This is one of the longest piers I've ever seen in California.
It's 1,500 feet long.
Now let's walk out on the beach, because this is what you're really known for, and boy, you can quickly get a feel for it when you look down the beach here. This is absolutely spectacular.
Well, we like to think so. We've got a couple of miles of beach here, and we're just 2 miles from the Mexican border, and the pier here provides one of the better surf breaks around during incoming tides. Right now the tide is low, so there's not a lot of surf out there and not a lot of surfers, but it's a wonderful beach, and we've got good fishing and good sunbathing and good weather all year round.
The beauty of this place is that it's kind of tucked away down here.
Well, it's classic Southern California beach and probably one of the last, if not the last, old-fashioned Southern California beach town.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, it has the solitude that many people look for. It has good ocean surf. It has good fishing. And what it doesn't have a lot of crowds, at least most of the year.
Okay, it's Monday morning. Everybody's either in school or at work except you. So you've got to represent all the surfers who use Imperial Beach during the year and tell us what makes this place so special.
Well, I live in Tijuana.
Uh-huh.
And it's the closest beach on the US side. Basically, I like it down here. It's nice and mellow. The people are not stuck up. I'm from Australia, so I love surfing. I surf every day. Pretty much surf here and pretty much north up the coast.
So wait a minute. You live in Tijuana.
Sure.
You come up here to Imperial Beach to surf every day.
Yep.
And you're from Australia.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on in your life.
Yeah, hell of a lot.
Are the waves, oh boy, the waves are coming in.
Don't worry about the water.
Are the waves really that great, or is it just like you say, the attitude of the place?
I prefer the attitude here. I've surfed all over the world, in Guatemala and all around, and I just find the attitude is pretty down to earth, as we would say in Australia.
Do you think that'll ever change? Do you worry about that? Imperial Beach getting discovered?
No, I don't. Oh, hopefully, maybe one day, but we don't want to have that attitude change.
Yeah.
So no.
So where do you surf? What are you looking for? The waves are kind of down. I see 4 surfers.
The swell's dropped off in the last 4 days, but I'll probably go out amongst this group of people over here. I'll get out no matter what the conditions.
And what will the rest of your day be like, so that we can all kind of dream of having the kind of life you have?
I go home and look after my 1-year-old son. So I'm a home dad, and I get my 4 hours surfing while mum works and earns the money. So I got the ultimate life.
You figured it all out.
Yeah,
Your
man.
name?
Matt.
Nice to meet you.
You
Originally from Australia, living in Tijuana, and surfing at IB.
Awesome place.
Bye.
Have fun.
Nice to meet you. He's fishing on the pier. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Huell Hauser.
I'm Chuck Hargis.
Nice to meet you. Are you a local IBer?
Yes, I am.
Well, tell us about this pier and especially about your luck today fishing on the pier.
Well, yeah, I've caught 4, but I threw 3 of them back.
Weren't big enough.
They weren't big enough, and I had one of just about a pound.
Uh-huh.
They should be some good ones in here right about now.
Now, I have a feeling you're down here just about every day, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. That's what I do for a pastime, is fishing.
Well, tell me about the pier. This is a beautiful pier.
I don't know. My opinion about the pier, I think it's probably about the cleanest one and the best in San Diego County, as far as I'm concerned.
They're out for their morning walk on the pier. Now, do you do this every day?
Just about, yeah.
So you live here in Imperial Beach?
Well, we're here for the winter. We're snowbirds.
Ah, so where do you live during the rest of the year?
In Chicago.
Oh my gosh, you're a long way from home today, aren't you?
Long way from snow.
What brought you from Chicago to Imperial Beach, of all places?
Well, we have a friend who has a condo, and we use their condo, rent their condo.
Uh-huh.
And we always loved San Diego.
And how do you think this place compares with other beaches up and down the coast?
Well, we love it here. That's why we come back. It's like our 6th, 7th year, maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we love it.
We like it a lot.
And it's not crowded.
Yeah.
There's not a million drunk kids around, so it's fun. Yeah, it's good.
All right, now what's going on over here with this net?
This is a hoop net.
A hoop net?
Yeah. And we got some live squid in there. We're hoping to catch some indigenous crab.
So what do? You just put this?
You just take it and drop it in the water.
And they're crab down there.
Yeah, there's crabs down there.
I grew up a couple blocks from the beach.
So you keep coming by?
Oh, sure do. My parents live down there.
Everybody we've met from Imperial Beach is in love with this place.
You know, we're just IB locals, and IB locals usually come back sooner or later.
Now, Jay, we're standing by the new pier, but before the new pier, there was an old pier, and before the old pier, there was the original pier. And you tell me it was about right here.
Well, right at the south end of that building down there, where you see that vehicle, about 200 yards south of here was the original Imperial Beach pier. It was built in 1909 by the Imperial Beach Improvement Association, a group of citizens who were trying to get Imperial Beach developed. And one of the things that they thought they needed, or that the community needed, was electricity. Between 1890 and 1910, there were several piers built in the state of California that featured wave motors.
Was this the famous wave machine I've heard about?
This was the famous Edwards wave motor machine, and the idea of the machine was to harness the energy of the waves and to try to convert it to electrical energy, which would be furnished to the community of Imperial Beach.
Now, I've seen pictures of that old machine right out on the end of the pier. That was something to see.
Well, the pier was built as a platform for the Edwards wave motor. That was the original purpose of the pier, was to hold or for the construction of the Edwards wave motor.
Did it get a lot of attention? Were people coming here from all over the world?
Well, a lot of people came here. I don't know whether they came from all over the world or not, but the pier was full, and I'm sure one of the attractions was the Edwards wave motor. The Edwards wave motor was on the pier for almost 2 years, and they kept tinkering with it and trying to get it to do what it was designed to do, but to my knowledge, the Edwards wave motor never generated 1 amp of electricity.
So it didn't work.
It did not work. It did not work. It was ultimately taken apart and hauled off the pier.
We're looking at the sand out here on the beach, and this just isn't any old sand, is it, Bud? This is famous sand.
High quality sand for world famous U.S. Open Sandcastle contest.
All right, we missed the Sandcastle contest this year, but when it's going on, this whole beach is full of sandcastles, isn't it?
Absolutely, and the castles is the only place you can see the sand because there's so many people here. The sandcastles stick out of there.
Now, how did Imperial Beach become the sandcastle capital of the world?
Well, I think we worked at it very hard. We took a trip up to our sister city in Canada. They were having a sandcastle contest, and we decided we could come down here and do the same thing in Imperial Beach.
How many years has this been going on?
This is our 25th year now.
Really?
And it just seems to grow and get better each year.
And you were telling me this is a big, big attraction.
This is the largest single-day event in the state of California.
Wait a minute. That's documented.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
The largest single-day event
in the state of California.
So this place is packed with people coming to look at the sandcastle.
Plus, we have camera crews from Japan, from Germany, from France, all over the camp, and we have teams from those countries too.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry we missed it today. This doesn't really give an idea of what it's like, does it?
Sure don't. We have probably about 350,000 people a year.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it fills the place up.
Okay, we have left the beach, and now Jay is bringing us to one of the most, you said this is one of the most historic places in all of IB. Tell us a little bit about this, Jay.
Well, Huell, this building has been here for probably more than 100 years and has probably been in operation for at least that long. It's probably one of the most popular business establishments in Imperial Beach, at least with those who like to go in and have a cool one every once in a while.
Ye Olde Plank Inn. Boy, it looks like it's been around for a while. Are you the owner?
I sure am.
You look like the owner. What's your name?
My name's Al.
My name's Huell Hauser. Nice to meet you, sir.
Glad to meet you.
Tell us a little bit about this place, because I understand it's one of the most historic places in all of Imperial Beach.
Well, it's over 100 years old, 119, something like that. And it's the best bar in the whole area.
Well, that's a pretty good recommendation.
Well, of course.
And from the looks of things, it's barely 11 o'clock in the morning. You got a full house in there.
Well, it's a Monday.
Uh-huh.
People are getting ready to go to work on the weekend.
I'm going to figure that one out in a minute. But can we go in?
Sure,
Let's
come
go
on
in and talk to everybody. We're inside Ye Olde Plank Inn, and boy, it has a good feel to it in here, and everybody's sitting around smiling and enjoying the morning. You're drinking coffee.
Yes, indeed.
Well, that's good. I was afraid everybody was going to be starting off with Bloody Marys this morning.
Well, that was earlier.
Wait a minute. Here's the lady with the parrot. We've already met you already today.
I know. I told you. Isn't this a neat place?
So this must be the place to hang out.
This is history, and this is where you get your coffee.
And they let you bring your bird to the bar.
Well, yeah.
There's no problem with that. Do you know anything about the history of this place?
Yeah, actually, I researched this. There's a geological survey map from 1912 over at Bonita, and there were 6 buildings in Imperial Beach in 1912, and this was one of them.
This was one of them?
Yeah, there's some historical photographs on the wall that show this spot. And,
did it start off as a hotel or a bar or?
Al, wasn't it more like a snack bar kind of down by the beach?
Like a 7-Eleven grocery store.
Just started off kind of like a grocery store.
Right, way back years ago.
Well, there are no groceries here today.
No, but there's 25-cent coffee till noon, and you can't beat the company, so.
And you know, it's got a great feel to it, too. This is kind of what you would think a beach bar would feel like.
It's a meeting place. There's a lot of service people that call this their home base when they're in town. You look at the pictures on the wall. There's a lot of military units that when they're not out there, they're here.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a social, cultural mixing point. You meet all kinds of people here. And a lot of people that travel. You meet a lot of people from all over the world in here.
And the atmosphere is authentic. This isn't, you didn't create any of this based upon what some interior design person told you it should look like, did you?
No, it just evolved.
That's a kind word for it, isn't it?
Yeah, it happened.
He's got his shoes off, and he's reading the paper.
Yes, sir, I am.
Now, do you work around here?
I'm a retired school teacher. I retired in '96, and my wife was elected to the board, South Bay Board of Education, and I was elected to City Council last November.
So wait a minute, you're on the Imperial Beach City Council?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is this kind of like a City Hall annex?
This is my office where I feel the pulse beat of the community. I ride my bicycle down here with my wife usually, and then I walk the pier, which is wonderful, and talk to the people. And I've been coming here since I was a lifeguard at the Coronado for 12 years, and I used to come here when I was 21.
Wow.
So it was a grocery store. It was a Miller's Cafe in the 30s, and then it became it was a grocery store, and this is a surf shop for a while too.
Stand up here a minute. You don't mind putting your shoes on, do you? They look more like slippers.
Well, I like my clogs. They're comfortable.
And look over here. This is, what's all of this?
Well, the owner, Mr. Winkleman, was in the Navy. He's a retired Navy chief. And this was a hangout for all kinds of Navy people, UDT people we called them, the Underwater Demolition, and more recently the SEAL teams. And these are all people who used to hang out here and enjoy the atmosphere of this bar.
Wow.
So it's got a lot of history.
It's got a lot of history, and I imagine at night and in the afternoons, on the weekends, the pool tables are going.
Very, very busy on the weekends. They have meals they serve on the weekends and holidays, and the bikers come over here and park outside and have a good time, and the music on the jukebox is really very fine. It's got excellent music.
Imperial Beach really is a very all-encompassing kind of warm place.
Yes, it really is. It's named after Imperial County, which was people from the Imperial County used to come here to get relief from the heat. So we got the name Imperial Beach. And it's been around for it was General Law City, founded in 1956. And we are a small town. We're only about 29,000 people, but we're very friendly, and it's a little slice of paradise.
It's lunchtime in Imperial Beach, and my new friend George here has recommended that we come where for lunch?
On the Seacoast to the Beach Club Grill.
To the Beach Club Grill, and they specialize in what kind of food? Greek food. Okay, here we go. Here's our waitress over here, Linda. I don't even know your last name.
Linda Brogan.
Linda Brogan, who's our waitress. We got the food all laid out here. There's the owner.
That's the owner of the restaurant. And the cook.
And the cook. Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you.
All right. Well, now we're here because we heard that Imperial Beach has the best Greek food in Southern California.
In whole California.
Oh, in all of California.
Whole California.
Here's the other owner right there. That's its brother.
Ah, how you doing? It's a family business. All right, Linda, tell us what we've got here. Come on, tell us what we've got here.
We have here the gyros plate, served with the Greek salad and rice and pita and that tzatziki sauce.
Okay.
And this we have gyro sandwich.
This is the sandwich. This is what I'm going to have.
This is the sandwich. This is spanakopita, spinach pie.
Now, wait a minute, Linda. That's the one you specialize in.
I take pride in this one. I roll it and I bake it and I oil it and to perfection.
All right, let's hold this one out so everybody can see it.
See it? See the?
This is spinach pie.
That's
Now,
a
wait a
spinach
minute.
pie.
This isn't Greek food here, is it?
Oh, we throw it in every once and again.
This is what?
That's
A
the Reuben.
sandwich.
That's the Reuben.
All right, and then we got the
small Greek salad.
The small Greek salad.
We make our own dressing and our own tzatziki sauce here too.
Who would ever think that you'd come to Imperial Beach for Greek food?
I know it.
But you have all kinds of food here,
And
don't
a lot
you?
of this stuff we make from scratch. He makes all the soups here.
Wow.
And
well, thank you very much. We're getting ready to. Oh, you're pouring the soup out?
Thank you.
For you.
Let's see a piece.
Enjoy.
Oh.
Enjoy.
This is, what kind of soup is this?
That's the vegetable.
Greek vegetable soup. And if people came to Imperial Beach and didn't want to eat Greek, what other kind of restaurants in town?
They have Taiwan food across the street. Then they have the Forum. They sell steaks. What else?
There's fresh fish.
Fresh fish.
Mexican food.
There's
Tin fish at the end of the pier.
Yeah.
The tin fish at the end of the pier.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good food in
all
Imperial
kind.
Beach.
You ask for it, you got it in Imperial Beach.
Nice to meet you, sir. And here's your brother over here.
Nice to meet you too.
And here's our lunch.
Grab your soup and follow me.
Linda takes control.
Walk this way.
And now for the high point of our visit to Imperial Beach, because we have now come to the old city dump / landfill, which has become this beautiful place and the pride and joy of the residents of Imperial Beach. And here to tell us about it is your interpreter.
Right.
Anne Marie Tipton.
Yep.
Nice to meet you this morning. You're with California State Parks. We love those state parks, and this is about as beautiful a state park as I think I've ever seen. And it didn't always look like this, did it?
No, it didn't. This area around here, like you said, was a dump. And people were just throwing their trash. But guess what? This is the 25th anniversary of preserving this place.
And how did it get preserved?
Well, it was going to be a marina. This whole area out there was going to be a marina. All the area that you see that's the salt marsh was going to be a marina. And guess what? It was Christmas Eve, 1980, that the residents fought so hard to preserve this as Tijuana Estuary National Wildlife Refuge.
So, wait a minute. This was all going to be, how were they going to develop it and make it into a marina?
Well, you have to dredge it all out. You have to dredge out all the salt marsh to make it more like a bay, just like they did in other parts of San Diego, like San Diego Bay and Mission Bay. And they wanted to transform it into a marina where boats were going to be parked. There's going to be residences and everything.
Well, now that would have been nice. Why did the residents want to keep it like this?
Well, estuaries are the nurseries of the ocean. Estuaries are where fish like halibut grow. Without estuaries, you won't have these huge commercial fisheries. It's a place to filter the water. It's a place that is 10 times more productive than this upland around here.
But now, in the past, the residents hadn't really been spending much time out here walking around. How did they know how important this could be to preserve as open space?
Well, the people that were involved in this have a background in biology. There have been kids and surfers coming out here for years and years and years enjoying this place. They loved it. They felt like it was part of their neighborhood.
Wow, this is beautiful, and it goes on forever and ever. How big an area is this?
Well, the whole Tijuana River National Estuary and Research Reserve, we call it Tijuana Estuary, is 2,500 acres.
Now, what are we looking at here? Is this salt water? Is this fresh water? Is this a marsh? Is this a wetland? I'm not sure what the term is.
Well, an estuary is where the river meets the sea. It's where salt water from the ocean and fresh water from the land mix together. So this is called brackish water. This, what you're looking at, is the Oneonta linkage, the slough that links these ponds to the rest of the estuary.
Now, does this water go up and down during the day with the tide?
Oh yes, this is high tide. We just had a full moon last night, so this is one of the highest tides we get every month.
And what's down in this brackish water? What little living creatures are down there?
Well, there's several kinds of fish. There's topsmilks, there's killifish, there's crabs down there, there's a lot of snails, there's a lot of worms. It's a very rich area.
Now, this is beautiful right here. Wide open space as far as you can see. What do people do? Just come out here like we are this morning and just walk down these trails?
Oh yes, we have so many birders here because we have 370 of bird species that either stay here or fly here every year.
I haven't seen a single bird all morning. Where are they? I don't see any birds.
Well, you know why you don't see birds? Because shorebirds like the mud. And right now we have high tide, and shorebirds, they forage in the mud where all their worms, and that's where they eat.
So where are they now?
They're out at probably at the beach right now.
I got you. And then they'll come back here for low tide.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, this is absolutely beautiful here, and I got to tell you, you've kind of won me over because I think I like this better than I would have liked just another marina, because marinas are nice, but there's nothing really unique or special about it.
No, this is the biggest estuary in San Diego County. Unfortunately, the other ones were already developed.
Now, before we left this particular part of the Tijuana Estuary, we ran into this fella coming out of the visitor center. Your name is?
Guy Sanderson.
And you were telling us that you've got some memories of this place.
This was down in here was the old dump. We used to come out and see older vans and the tires and stuff.
So you've lived around here a long time.
Since '79.
All right, so in the old days, this really was a dump.
Yeah, it was an unofficial dump.
And what was the big controversy? Did the citizens really just kind of rise up and say, we want to make something out of this?
Yeah, and after the big flood, that Hollister flood, when the bridges and stuff all washed down here, they had a cleanup and everyone decided to do something with this besides just becoming a dump and a flooded area.
Well, wasn't it going to be a marina as well?
Yeah, they were going to have a marina, so it had all the oil in the water, but that didn't get.
Well, now, how do the citizens of Imperial Beach feel about this today?
Well, most of us come down here and we really enjoy it, especially the birds. You can come down here early in the morning before it's real warm for the hawks and the predator birds can't get out. You see all the baby rabbits and stuff out here. It's really nice. And you see a lot of women with their young children using it as well.
And doesn't it make you feel good that you and your wife and other concerned citizens really, right here in this part of California, are responsible for saving this area and making it what it is into what it is today?
I sure am, and we brag about it too when I go to some other refuge.
You brag, you have bragging rights?
Right, we're proud of it here.
That your estuary is better than their estuary?
One of the best in the state.
The Tijuana Estuary is a huge place, over 2,500 acres. And to get to our next stop, which was also located inside the estuary, we had to drive about 3 miles around its boundaries, through an area that really had a very rural feel to it. We passed by guys on horseback. There were cattle, agricultural areas, farms that had obviously been there for years. Then we came right up alongside the big fence running between the United States and Mexico. We had arrived at our final destination. We are at the border. We are at our final destination, and I can tell that because Anne-Marie told me that that's a bull ring over there, so that's definitely Mexico, isn't it?
Oh yeah, just right there.
All right. Now, you brought us to this spot because this right here is one of the most historic spots. Well, first off, we're looking at the boundary marker, but that looks like a lighthouse over there. What's that over there? Do you know?
That's a historic lighthouse as well, yes.
In Mexico?
In Mexico.
How old is that lighthouse?
I think it dates from the early 1900s.
Okay, so that's not nearly as historic as this.
No.
This is where the real history comes into place.
Right.
The boundary of the United States. Now, what's the story of this marker, Anne-Marie?
Well, after the Mexican-American War, there was a Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, and what it said was a land commission, boundary commission of people from Mexico and the United States would discover and decide where this boundary was going to be between the two countries.
So this was put here in 18...
The first time this actual marker was here was 1851, but they decided on this place on October 10th, 1849.
Okay, so this boundary was set October 1849.
Exactly.
Now, is this the original boundary marker since 1851?
No, it wasn't, because this was a very popular place. People came here and they wanted to get souvenirs off of it. In 1888, there was 100,000 people here coming down because there was a railroad between San Diego and Tijuana.
So the tourists would come down here and chip off.
And chip off a piece of the boundary. The original boundary was much bigger than this. It was from Italian marble, shipped around the Horn, and it was just so defaced they had to take it down and bring it into San Diego and recarve it.
So this has been here since
1894.
Now, is this the area? Somebody told us earlier that Pat Nixon had been here.
Yes.
Because why?
Because Richard Nixon dedicated this border field state park in 1971.
So she came here to dedicate it.
Yes, she planted a tree, which is now dead, but unfortunately, but she planted a tree, the famous Pat Nixon tree, down here, and she dedicated this place.
So before 1971, this whole area wasn't parkland at all. It was just kind of open area.
Well, it was owned by the military, it was owned by private entities, and we purchased it from the military.
Wow. So all of this has just been going on for a little over 35 years, this development of it as a real great park for people to see and enjoy.
Oh, yes. People love this place. This is called the Parque Amistad, the Friendship Park. And they're actually going to be developing the other side to make it a really beautiful area with permanent sculptures and everything. It's supposed to be the way where place where the two countries come together.
Now, this is the first time we've actually seen the beach, seen the ocean, and that's a part of this story too.
Yes, there's 2 miles of preserved beach right along here.
From the border
From the
north.
border north to Imperial Beach.
And what goes on the beach?
Well, there's a lot of nesting. Least terns and snowy plovers nest on the beach. We have equestrians that ride their horses on the beach. We have surfers, all kinds of people.
All right, so it's a heavily used beach, and now we are getting down to business because you know why we're here.
Yes.
To find the southwest corner of California, which I guess also is the southwest corner of the United States.
Exactly.
And Tom from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, which is part of this whole mix of ownership and management of this area, and Greg from State Parks are hard at work over here with the GPS. You got the numbers. Does it all compute?
When we get down to the corner there, we think it will compute.
What do you mean you think it will compute?
Well, we have to go there and see what the GPS says.
And what is the GPS supposed to say? Because we've got to be official. We don't want to just put this flag anywhere.
It's supposed to say 32 degrees, 32 minutes north, 117 degrees, 7 minutes south, west.
Have you ever been down to this exact spot?
Oh, many times.
Oh, really?
We lifeguarded here in the 70s.
Ah, okay, so this is old news for you.
We used to drive our lifeguard vehicles into Mexico to make rescues.
Really? So this fence, well, that's something else we didn't talk about. This fence in the early days, back when they put that original marker up, there was no fence here. People just walked back and forth.
No, this just happened in the 20th century. There was no fence before.
Wow. Well, let's head down to the, I guess we'll go to the high tide to the mark where the water hits the beach and plant our flag. Okay, we are down on the beach. The waves are crashing against the border fence here, and Greg, you told us that this is a big surfing spot down here. What do you call this?
Well, this is the border left, and a half-mile north we have the famous Tijuana Estuary surf spot.
So there are a lot of surfers out here. This is a known surfing spot.
It's a known surfing spot when the water quality is acceptable.
What do you mean?
Quite often the water quality is not very good here because of all the sewage that gets dumped into the ocean about 6 miles south of here.
So there's some problems back and forth between the two countries that we got to work out, aren't there?
And everybody is actively working on it. Mexico's planning the new sewer system. This is a long-standing problem, and everybody's aware of it, and everybody's working to solve it.
And I got to tell you, you got kind of a rickety fence here, too. It looks to me like it needs a little bit of repair up here.
The people who are going to repair this, the Army National Guard, are working in other spots of the world right now. And
they'll be here to clean this one up in a little while.
They're going to start work on here in June or July, they feel.
All right, good. All right, now you've got the GPS. You know, we want to be official about this. Are we at the border?
We're at the border, and actually we're a little farther west because we feel that it's supposed to be the mean high tide line we're actually measuring to.
Well, that's okay. Every corner we have visited so far in California has been kind of loosey-goosey. Believe me, it doesn't always match up exactly.
Well, our number doesn't match up perfectly right now either, but we feel it's back there.
All right, but we want to put it in. Come on, we're going to have a little official ceremony. We're going to put the flag in kind of where the water comes up.
All right.
That's as far as we can go and still be in California. Mexico is right here. So we've done it. We've found the southwest corner. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
This is such a beautiful area down here. The whole place that we were today is called the
Tijuana River National Estuary Research Reserve.
It's a big name, but I tell you what, when you look at it on the map, this whole area down here in the southwest corner of California is just a vacant green spot. And that's where we've been today.
Exactly.
Well, it's here for all of us to enjoy, and we've enjoyed it today. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
It's a beautiful place, and now we're gonna go right, there comes the water right here. This is as far as it goes. We'll put it in the sun. Now let's put it right on the wall here. Uh-oh. So it's coming about right here. There it is. Right on the border, right on the fence, the exact southwest corner of our state. Hello. How are you doing? My name is Huell Hauser.
Rafael.
Nice to meet you.
Same to me.
You live in Tijuana?
Yes.
And this is the fence right here.
This is the border, yeah, it's the fence.
I can't go over there and you can't come over here unless we go down to the border crossing.
Yes.
Do you walk up and down the beach every day?
Yes, in the morning. Well, on this time.
Yeah. Well, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Looks like a beautiful day over in Mexico.
Yeah, today is beautiful.
Yeah.
Maybe not tomorrow, maybe we have rain.
Yeah, but we need rain. Rain's good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, nice to meet you.
Okay.
It's a beautiful day in Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful beaches, huh?
Beautiful beaches in Mexico and beautiful beaches here in California. Well, I sure hope you enjoyed our road trip to the exact southwest corner of our state. If you'd like to go on this adventure again or share it with family or friends, it's available on video cassette and on DVD. We also have a special DVD containing our visits to all 5 California corners. It's a corners extravaganza, and all you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727, and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.
Road Trip with Huell Hauser has been made possible by the Automobile Club of Southern California.
Wherever you're headed on your next road trip, the Auto Club knows the territory. For travel tips or comprehensive destination information, as well as booking your next family vacation, our website is a great first stop on any journey, no matter how far away your destination may be. Through all life's travels, we're always with you.